So today we're talking about the PowerBoss Nautilus Scrubber Sweeper. This is a 90-gallon machine. The clean solution tank clean water tank is right here. It's the orange tank. The fill is on the opposite side of the machine. The clean water goes down through a scrub head, which has two 45-inch cylindrical brushes, which are doing the scrubbing and the sweeping. This machine has a edge scrub, which is this round scrub brush on the front right corner. That edge scrub is responsible for cleaning it against walls, racks, or close to things. The water and material travel under this front brush, which is turning clockwise, goes in between the two brushes. The rear one is turning counterclockwise, which then throws the debris into our hopper in the back. This is a hydraulic high dump hopper. This is where all the debris and water end up. We are then vacuuming that water out of the debris hopper into our gray recovery tanks where the dirty water ends up. Also, behind your hopper here is our squeegee system, which vacuums the floor dry and also carries the water to our recovery tank. So we're going to talk about how to fill the machine with clean water and chemical. The orange tank is your solution tank or clean water tank. This gasket material here, you just pull up on it, lifting the lid opens, and this is where you're going to put in your clean water or your solution water with chemical in it. Holds 90 gallons of solution. Now we're going to talk about the scrub head and the sweeping brushes and how to install these. One of the things you're going to want to do when you have the brushes off and inspect it for shrink wrap or banding, you're going to want to cut that off and make sure you don't have that wrapped around your brushes. The front brush installs from the operator side of the machine. The rear brush installs on the left-hand side of the machine or the engine side of the machine. Okay, I'm going to set this out of the way. But the easiest way to install this is just to slide the brush in until it stops on the drive motor on the other side. Then you're going to depress with your foot on the inside of the core until it slides up onto the drive motor. Lift up on the brush and turn it counterclockwise until you feel the resistance. Then you're going to take the door. This goes inside the core of the brush and installs on the machine. So the scrub brush has a wear indicator on it, and as the bristle wears down to the yellow bristle, that's when you're going to want to go ahead and get another set of brushes on order. This brush can be rotated or flipped over end for even wear, and this is the drive that I was loading onto that drive motor on the other side of the machine, and that's what's spinning this brush. You have different bristles for different types of floors. The blue brush is a mid-grit 180 brush. So this is your edge cleaning brush. It is a disc brush, 16-inch disc brush, responsible for cleaning up against walls and racks. The total cleaning path with this brush stretches out to about 60 inches. So as far as aisles, being able to fit down aisles, you're looking at about a 60-inch aisle. It will turn around in a 9-foot aisle. But this is your edge cleaning brush. This cutout here on top of the plate is how you access the drives to release the brush and take it off the machine. You're going to want to inspect this squeegee regularly to make sure it's not torn or it doesn't have excessive wear on it, because that's important for channeling the water back underneath the machine for recovery. So now I want to explain to you where that debris and water ends up after leaving the scrub head. It travels into our hopper, which collects the water and the debris. We have a vacuum tube that's extracting that water and depositing it into the recovery tank. So after the scrub head, the water trails underneath the machine to your squeegee system. This is responsible for drying the floor free from any water, and it has an inner squeegee and a rear squeegee. The rear squeegee is the wiping squeegee, and you need to inspect this and make sure that it has a good wiping edge on it and that it's not torn or misshapen. All right, so now we're talking about draining and washing out the recovery tank or dirty water from the Nautilus Sweeper Scrubber. So the recovery tank is the gray tank, okay? And this orange boot or hose here is the drain hose. Okay, so you're going to lift this off, you're going to fold this over, undo the cap by turning the gold T-bracket counterclockwise. That loosens the plug. We're going to pull this out, and then you can lower the hose and unfold it to drain the dirty water from the tank. After the water's drained out, you can pull down the step if you choose, so you can step up, open the lid, and wash out the recovery tank free of debris. So now we're going to talk about the operation of the machine. First, we're going to discuss starting the throttle and then forward and reverse. It has a standard automotive key switch. You're going to rocker the key to the on position, just like an automobile. It's going to start and in the idle position. You have a switch here. The middle position is idle. The down position is the next highest RPM. And then the up position is, or the rabbit, is your operating RPM. So next we're going to talk about traveling forward and reverse. On the floorboard, if your foot is on the forward or the front position, depress and you will travel forward. It's a hydrostatic drive. So the rear, if you push down with your heel, you're going to travel in reverse. The brake has a parking brake on it. You depress the pedal, push down on the top part of the pedal, and that will lock the machine in park. The neutral switch will not allow you to start the machine if your foot is on the pedal. So when starting the machine through the key switch, you cannot have your foot on this pedal or out of neutral, otherwise the machine will not start. Now we're going to talk about operator controls for engaging the scrubbing and vacuum and dumping systems. So on the operator's control panel, you have a series of switches here at the top. The green switch is your master switch. The next symbol is your squeegee or vacuum. The next symbol is the scrub brushes. And then the final switch is the edge scrub, or the edge cleaning device on the right front corner of the machine. The X's mean these brushes or these switches are in the off position. You press them down into the on position. When you hit this green switch, that will turn on whatever function has been selected in the on position. The buttons below are the scrub brush pressure indicator. There's 3 positions, light, medium, and heavy. And then the one directly next to it is the water off, medium, and high flow selector. Wherever these are set, that is how the function is going to perform when the green switch is indicated. That is the master on and off switch. So in summary, wherever your functions are selected, whether it be squeegee, brushes, or edge scrub, water flow, or brush pressure, the green switch turns those on and off. So what we're going to talk about now is the hydraulic debris dump for the hopper. If you look down here to your left, you have 3 switches. The first switch is your squeegee up, second switch is the hopper up, and then the third switch is hopper door open to dump the debris. You can actually hold down on these first 2 switches together, and that will raise both the squeegee and the hopper at the same time. Once it's high enough to dump it into your dumpster, then you back up, open the switch, the door will open and drop the debris from the hopper. Then you just reverse the functions. You pull away from the dumpster and engage the 2 switches forward. That will lower the hopper and squeeze you back down in the operating position. So next we're going to talk about the lights on your operator control panel. The 2 lights to your left are your recovery tank or dirty water full indicator. So when that light is illuminated, you need to go empty the dirty water tank or the gray tank. This is your solution tank or clean water tank empty light. So if the solution tank is out of clean water, then you're going to need to go fill it up. Generally, this one's going to be going off about the same time this one's going to be going off. So whenever those lights start flashing, it's getting close. When they go solid, you're out. The next we're going to talk about is the low LP indicator. That light will come on literally 2 minutes before you have to go change the tank out. So when that light comes on, it's time to go change that tank, otherwise you're going to run out of LP. Check engine light is this yellow light right here. If that comes on and stays on, it's time for you to get maintenance involved. Same thing with the low oil pressure, high temperature gauge. You also have headlights and tail lights on this machine. That's the switch right here. Flip it forward, turns on the headlights and the tail lights at the same time. The column for the steering has a tilt adjustment. So this lever right here, you can loosen that and then set the steering column at the position that's comfortable for you, and then tighten this back up, and that will hold the steering wheel in a comfortable position for you. So that would be this handle here. So when you're finished operating the machine, there's a few things you need to do every day to make sure that the machine is going to perform for you. First thing you're going to do is need to drain the recovery tank every single time and wash it out free from debris. So you're going to want to open this drain hose up like we talked about before, drain the solution out of the tank. Then we've got 2 recovery tank lids that expose one tank. So you're going to open these lids up, you're going to take your hose, there's a step here, and you're going to wash everything down and out of the recovery tank. We do have a 6-inch opening on the left-hand side of this tank, and it's at the bottom. You can spin that off and wash everything out of there as well. Very important, you can leave these lids open. That way you let air move through and it's not going to have an odor to it. So I'm going to show you this opening on the bottom of the tank now. So we've raised our hopper, emptied our debris into our dumpster. We're going to put in our safety pins on each lift arm. So you have one here and one on the other side. And all we're going to do is take this out and put the pin in the hole right below the keeper. And that will engage and lock the lift arms into place. So now it's safe for you to get underneath here and remove this recovery tank cap. This is a clean out cap, and all you have to do is spin this cap off, and that will allow you to take off this cap, wash all the sediment or debris that's in the bottom of the recovery tank out this cap. This cap has a gasket on it which seals the tank and keeps it from leaking. It is loose inside the cap, so it will come out, and just rinse this entire thing off. The key is to make sure that the gasket material is on the tank side of this cap, so that when you put it against the tank, it's going to seal it off. So that's how you're going to wash out the recovery tank completely. This is our debris hopper that controls the water and the debris from the sweeping brushes. It's going to land in here. So you're going to want to rinse this out. You're going to take your garden hose, and you got 2 areas you can rinse it from. You can rinse it from this open area here, down and out of the machine. There's also an access panel on the back side that you can remove and also wash the debris from that panel out. Okay, so we're going to show you the access panel on the back side of the hopper for rinsing it out and cleaning it. It's the stainless steel plate right here. It's got 2 handles that you depress in towards each other, and then you remove the panel from here. Then you can get inside the hopper with your hose, rinse everything out. If you come here and look, you can see that there's a stainless steel mesh screen inside the hopper here. You're going to want to remove this cotter pin, take this out, and wash it out every once in a while so that it doesn't get coated with material and stop the water flow from being evacuated from the hopper. We're going to talk about the squeegee assembly. This is responsible for drying the floor or vacuuming the floor dry. You have 2 hand screws on each side of your recovery tube here that you turn and tighten to hold the squeegee to this mounting bracket. This is designed to be hand tight so that if you do get it hooked on a rack leg or something like that, it pulls the squeegee off of this assembly here. So these Linatex washers go on top of the squeegee assembly bracket, and then the thumb screws go on top of that so you can hand tighten, keep this in place, and keep the squeegee mounted. So this is the bottom side of your squeegee. You're going to want to make sure that this is clean and debris free. If you got any kind of clogs, this is going to slow down the airflow and create a pool underneath the machine because you're not vacuuming it fast enough. So you need to keep this clean. Also, this bottom channel area here needs to be clean and free of any kind of buildup or debris. Okay. The most important thing though is this rear squeegee here, that it has a good wiping edge on the inside. When it gets rounded off or worn, you're going to see the floor turn to a wet kind of sheen where you can see your footprint, or a forklift tire mark can drive through it. That's how you know this edge is worn. To rectify that, you're going to release the latch over here, take this stainless steel band off, and you're going to flip it end for end. So now the outside edge becomes the inside edge, and that has a new wiping edge on it. You can't let this inner part get past halfway, otherwise you've eliminated that backside wiping edge. Okay, so there should be two wiping edges for the bottom side and the top side of the squeegee. So after the bottom side's worn off, you can flip the top for the bottom and use it again the same way. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the inner squeegee. The rear squeegee's responsible for wiping the floor dry. The inner squeegee is responsible for creating the vacuum chamber. So these slots that are in that are barely sitting on the ground, and they're creating a channel or an airflow for the water to move through into the vacuum chamber here to go into your recovery. So this is actually flaring and wiping. This is actually just sealing the floor, creating this vacuum channel. These slots are for the air to move through and carry the water. Okay. This also has a top side that can be utilized by flipping the top for the bottom. So you can actually take the band clamp off, flip the top for the bottom, and you got another useful edge on this inner squeegee down here. While we're back here at our squeegee assembly, one very important thing that you need to check daily are these casters. These casters are what this entire assembly rides on, and is partly responsible for the wiping and the vacuuming of the water. So if these are not spinning and turning freely, then you're not going to get a good dry floor behind the machine. There are Zerk fittings that need to be greased with marine grade grease regularly to keep these free and spinning like they should be. So very important to keep that inspected on a daily basis.